Hi, it's Jesse Zeman, Executive Director, BCWF Federation, for a member update in the middle of March. News came out this week that the BCWF Federation President, Chuck Zuckerman, had passed away suddenly. Chuck was a dedicated BCWF member, spending decades with the organization, volunteering his time, energy, and knowledge. We will let the membership know there will be a service. We'll let you know when and where. Per the family's requests, in lieu of flowers, they've indicated that they want donations to go towards BCWF educational programs, if you're so inclined. Fisheries and Oceans Canada just released a paper after a couple of years of research and talking to experts, where they found a number of glitches related to science, which we all know inside of DFO. The BCWF has cited a number of times as providing testimony to the committee in Ottawa, so we will put some press out around that. Our 50/50 is live. It will be going all the way through convention. So if you haven't got your 50/50 tickets, we appreciate all your support. This helps fuel a number of our programs and initiatives like the Mule Deer Project, wetlands, controlled and cultural burns, a bunch of the youth education as well. So this is really what helps us, take care of what we have here and get kids connected with nature. The province recently made an announcement around a $100 million watershed security fund. That is some of the best news we've received in a long time. Al Martin started working on this initiative in 2015, and the BCWF has been a long-standing advocate of dedicated funding to take care of fish, wildlife, and habitat. We know that when the economy goes sideways, the first thing that's cut is taking care of fish, wildlife, and habitat, and when things are good, it's the last thing that gets funded. So having dedicated funding mechanisms to take care of these things, to restore them, is really the best way to go. We see it all over North America. Tied to that, after 10 years of hard work, the provincial government just released an increase in fishing license fees. This is also great news. Our members have for a long time said they're willing to pay more and to help take care of these resources if the funds are dedicated. The Freshwater Fisheries Society has struggled for a number of years because they haven't had an adjustment for inflation and have been stuck in the same place for fishing license fees. So we're looking forward to more money going towards fish conservation and more money going into angling opportunities. That's great news. We got to get that for wildlife now. In terms of webinars, we have Learn to Fish webinars coming up, Learn to Hunt webinars coming up. One will be around fish with Brian Chan, the other one will be with Mark Hall around turkey hunting. So we're really looking forward to those. We've got a lot of people registered. If you know someone who's interested in either one of those, definitely recommend them. They're great webinars, great series. We also have a conservation webinar that'll be coming up around the Interior Cougar Project with Siobhan Darlington. So also looking forward to that. We've been at trade shows. We're going to more trade shows. We'll be at the BC Outdoors Show next weekend, so the third weekend in March, the 22nd to the 24th, I believe. Looking forward to seeing you all there. Bill C-21 continues to be an issue. There was an announcement in Kelowna where the parliamentary secretary talked about Bill C-21. The federal government did announce some funding related to preventing people from getting into gangs and criminal activity, which is where they need to be spending the money. They talked a little bit about shoring up the border, which is where they need to be spending money, but there are also still a couple of backhanded comments related to lawful firearms owners. So we still expect that changes will come back related to C-21. So again, keep engaging your MPs, keep on talking about this. The Vancouver Sun covered a couple of our members and one of our life members recently related to firearms, which is great. There was a time a couple years ago where we really couldn't talk about these issues in the media, and it's great to see the media talking about it. It's great to see our members stepping up and talking about what they believe in. Becoming an Outdoorswoman registration is open. We have BOWs and Becoming an Outdoorswoman happening in Prince George, in Lake Country, and we're going to have one in the Lower Mainland. We're putting a lot of energy in this, so if you know someone who can either volunteer to help teach a course or who can or wants to learn about some outdoor skills, please share the word. AGM convention is coming up in Nanaimo, April 20th to the 22nd, I believe. If you haven't got your tickets and haven't signed up, please do. Jim Shockey's the keynote. We're going to have presentations from ministers, from scientists, from researchers, a whole bunch of stuff that we're funding related to steelhead restoration. It's going to be an awesome AGM and convention. If you're interested in joining the board, there's an application online. Please fill it out. We're looking for more new faces to add to the BCWF as we grow. The other piece is we have had a bunch of donors and sponsors step up, but if any of our partners want to sponsor or donate to the AGM and convention as part of our fundraising, that would be great. And then the last thing is we just wrapped up our social media report for 2022. I probably talked about this before. We went from in terms of newspaper, we went from 725 articles to over 1,400 in a year. Last year, we engaged over 300 million views or viewers in print media. Our social media trends are the same. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our communications are up 237%. For impressions, engagements up 188%. Post likes are up 360%. Our impressions went to 11.1 million people last year. So the Federation and our members are stepping up. We're engaging, we're talking to elected officials, we're talking to the public, and you know, in a couple of years it's been a big turnaround where a few years ago when we talked about things like hunting, conservation, angling, firearms ownership, you know, either people weren't listening or they were opposed, and now we're living in a place, in a space where we can talk about them openly and engage the public and engage elected officials to say, you know, conservation matters. Hunters and anglers and sports shooters are people who contribute to society, who volunteer, who help conserve our natural resources. So some good news to round things out. I'll talk to you in a few weeks. Thanks.